This is Denise Richards' first time, actually, speaking out since her ex-husband, Charlie Sheen's Christmas Day arrest for a domestic dispute. After all of this, I hear you guys then spent New Year's Eve together? Explain that.
Well, we didn't exactly ring in the new year together, but we've gotten to a really good place with each other, and it's taken a lot of work to get there. And
how good of a place you're going to be after being on this show?
I don't know. It depends how much more we talk about. I mean, we've gotten through worse, so I'm sure it will be fine. Mm-hmm. But it's taken a lot of work on our part, and I think we have to.
What kind of work?
Well, our daughters didn't ask to be born into our conflict. They don't deserve this. It was a very hostile situation, as you can imagine, and we started to see a mediator, and to go from there to being able to be at New Year's Eve and have dinner with an early dinner, and then, we didn't ring in the New Year. My dad was there, and to have, my daughters there, it's important for my kids. They don't deserve this stuff. It's not fair to them.
As Denise mentioned, her dad's here sitting in the front row. I can imagine as a father, no matter who the father is, doesn't want some guy mistreating his daughter. And even if the guy is Charlie Sheen.
As a parent, it's so frustrating because it's a love-angry relationship. I love and respect my daughter for trying to make her marriage work. But on the other hand, I'm very, very angry that she keeps going back because I know it's a hostile situation.
Mm-hmm. Why were you continuing to try to make it work?
Because I loved him. And when I did file for divorce, I was 6 months pregnant. Our oldest daughter was 9 months old. Yeah. And in that moment, I
have to tell you, for the rest of the world, we thought it must really be bad.
It was. And the next day he went to work, and I packed a suitcase, took my oldest daughter, who was 9 months old. I was 6 months pregnant, went to a hotel and drove straight to an attorney's office and just filed. And I was terrified and relieved that I had the strength to do it. It was impossible to make it work. It really was. When he got married, I very much moved on. I wasn't thinking, oh gosh, maybe he'll be different. And if he is, I hope he is different. Mm-hmm. I had hoped that she was going to be, and is, my daughter's stepmom. So I want that to be a healthy marriage. That helps everyone. Both of us had parents that were ill and died during that time, and anyone that's lost a parent.
But so you didn't feel any tinge of guilt at all, because you didn't grow with that rule of my best friend's husband is off limits no matter what, even when they're apart?
Yeah, no, and that's the one thing I think that is a misconception. I was friends with Heather. She wasn't my best friend. If we were friends, Heather and I absolutely never would have crossed that line with Richie, ever. So the friendship with her and I was done. It wasn't, we weren't friends anymore, and I get that rule. I do.
But during that time, I read that you could feel the children's mother staring at you.
Yeah, of course I felt mixed feelings. I was embarrassed, taking my daughters to preschool and Mommy and Me. It took everything in me to go to those things, knowing everyone thought I stole my best friend's husband, and here I am going through this awful divorce. I was humiliated. It was awful.
You said at the beginning of this interview, you were saying that you and Charlie are in a good place now. Mm-hmm. Are you in a good place with yourself?
I am, yeah. It's, I'd be lying if I said it didn't happen overnight. It's taken a long time, but truly my daughters are my pillars of strength.
How old are they?
4 and 5.
Whoa. 4 and 5 is so cute. You said they were opening Christmas presents when they went to the phone to talk to their father in jail. What were their favorite presents for Christmas that day?
American Girl doll. Yeah.
Which ones did they get?
I went overboard. I really did. I spoiled them on Christmas. I do have to say that the one thing about that whole situation, it's very difficult to explain that. I did have to tell them. about their dad.
Did you?
Because
at 4 and 5, did you even have
to
tell them?
I didn't say why. My daughter had a girl come up to her at school and say, "Your dad was in jail. Is he still there?" At 5 years old in kindergarten, and that's a tough conversation. I didn't say what happened, but and I'm learning how to deal with all of this.
And so then did she come to you and say,
yeah.
"Is Daddy in jail?"
Mm-hmm.
Kindergarten ain't what it used to be.
No.
Yeah.
It's that's a hard one to yeah.
Do you trust him and feel comfortable with him being with your girls?
Yeah, it's all of this has been a work in progress, and it's up and down, but I think.
Does up and down mean that at some point you didn't trust him with the girls?
It was challenging. There were challenging times, and a lot of people said, I was being manipulative and conniving and controlling. That wasn't the case. I think anyone in their right mind as a parent would have done what I did. My whole thing's about the girls.
So what is it? Is it his temper? Is it his, way of being? What is it?
It's a combination of a lot of things. It's a lot. And my thing has always been about the girls and keeping them safe and a very healthy home life and environment.
So, you're not going to tell me what it is, because it's a lot isn't an answer. But no, I'm wondering, is
Dad?
it drinking, is it drugs, is he irresponsible, is it, but only say what you feel comfortable saying, because I don't want you, what I never want is for somebody to leave here
to call you.
No, and say, edit that out, or, oh my God, I'm so sorry I said that. So do you want to leave it at, it's a lot? But I just want you to know that I know it's a lot is not an answer. But you can leave it that way if you want to. Yeah.
Everyone, I'm sure, has read different things, and I think anyone would think there are certain things that have been written aren't appropriate for children. And I can't control what Charlie does. I can't control what his situation is with Brooke. I can't control what goes on in their home. I can control what goes on in our home and keep my girls safe. That's my goal.
Okay.
Is that an answer?
You know what? I'm going to leave it at that, because yes, you're uncomfortable talking about it. So all the things that we read about, pornography and prostitutes and drugs, you're right, are not appropriate for children. And so I'm going to leave it at that and wish you the best.
Thank you.
And glad that you are finding some peace and happiness in your life.
Thank you.
Thanks for being with me.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. And your hands are sweaty. So, leave it at that. It's fine. Very good. Enough said. We'll be right back. Enough said. Charlie Sheen denies that he used a knife to threaten his wife, Brooke Mueller. He is due to appear in court in February. Mueller's attorney, Yale Gallanter, said Charlie and Brooke want to try and resolve their issues. Coming up.
And using the guitar chords A and E, this song is going to be called I Guess She Felt Uncomfortable Talking About It. I guess she felt uncomfortable talking about it. Didn't know what to say. Didn't know exactly what to say, so she just gave it away. Gave a general answer. Well, it's not exactly what Oprah wanted to hear. She wanted something more. She wanted something more. She wanted something more. She wanted something more. Well, Denise, she tried again to give her a better answer times 10. Still wasn't what Oprah wanted to hear. hear. She could tell she was hiding and holding something back, but she agreed. Prostitution, drugs, and assaults aren't appropriate subjects for children. Oprah agreed, but she said, you're holding something back. I guess you don't want to talk about it. Guess you don't want to talk about it.